Okay, so yeah, you guys had education, direction, motivation, momentum. You went through the key points that are covered in Atmosphere. Now, I'm going to be talking about how to run a killer workshop. But just before I move on, Atmosphere is us. So I just want to go, because I'm going to talk about the hour in the morning or the hour in the afternoon, but Atmosphere is us. You guys said that straight away, right? So Atmosphere is us. So wherever you go, I'm going to be talking about the 4 walls between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, or whatever time you guys run the Atmosphere. But you've got to remember that Atmosphere is you. Whenever you're with a group of like-minded people, that is an atmosphere, okay? So how to run a killer workshop. So we're going to start off with a video. I hope everybody, whoa, that's the Saturdays. That's weird. Okay. Can everybody see?
So in 1906, Italian economist Alfredo Pareto found that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. Now this 80-20 distribution became quite famous for occurring over and over again.
1 second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Amongst yourselves. Be right back after these lessons.
Okay, we're back in the game. We're back in the game. Guys, Patrick, guys, are we in? Georgia. Guys, so if we just have focus, because if we're talking over the top, we can't actually hear the video when we're going to watch it back. So if everyone wants to listen in, this is the 80-20 principle.
Your results. And once you figure this out, you want to spend 80% of... So in 1906, Italian economist Alfredo Pareto found that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. Now this 80-20 distribution became quite famous for occurring over and over again in many scenarios. For example, about 20% of the world's population control about 80% of the world's income. You wear about 20% of the clothes in your wardrobe about 80% of the time. About 20% of a business's customers account for 80% of their complaints. This is known as the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. Now as a note, this shouldn't be taken as some sort of universal law that occurs in all situations. Exceptions can be made, and one should always be critical. But that being said, it's an extremely effective tool to analyze your own life and be more productive. Let's look at an example. Imagine you have a daily to-do list with 10 things to do every day. Using the Pareto principle, you want to figure out what are the 2 most important things that will give you the majority of your results. And once you figure this out, you want to spend 80% of your effort on these 2 things, and the rest on the remaining 8 things to do. This means that even if you don't manage to complete most of the things you wanted to do, you at least get the important things out of the way. The concept is very simple, but the ways you can apply it are endless. The point here isn't the numbers, but rather to simplify your life and focus on what truly matters. Know someone who needs to improve their productivity? Share this with them and give us some love by hitting that like button. And if you want to see more, just...
Has anybody heard that principle before? Yeah. Okay. Fantastic principle. Okay, so it's got Louis' nod of approval. So this is how we can apply it ourselves. So this is our day. So we have the AM workshop, we have the field time, and we have the PM workshop. And as the video is saying, like it's talking about your to-do list. Like it's 20% of your day is going to dictate 80% of the result. So you want to put 80% of the effort into that 20% of the day. Is everybody with me on that one? So if you really get super good in the AM and the PM workshop, you can have a lot more productive time on the field. Now the PM workshop, we don't come into the office of an evening, but this is you meeting up with the teams in the afternoon. And this is you breaking down the day, and this is you having a few sit downs, and this is you setting a few goals for the next week or so. So we really want to make sure that we're investing our time wisely in the AM and the PM. So the 3 points we're going to cover now is we're going to talk about how to prepare a real working environment. Like, I want you guys to be thinking on Monday morning when you go in there, it's your office. It's not my office, not Kim's office, not Tush's office, it's your office. When you walk in there on Monday morning, it's your office. So you want to prepare a real working environment. Who liked it when you walked through this building this morning? Who liked it when you walked into this room? Okay? Now that wow effect, you want people to have that every single day. We're going to be talking about how to have a plan. Now, the amazing thing is when you have a plan, it frees your mind up to have a lot more fun with the people on your team. So we'll go through how to have a plan and keep the educational workshop fun. And then we'll go through how to keep it educational and to make sure yourself and people on your team are learning wisely as well. Cool? So the first one is prepare a healthy working environment. So, if you walk into somebody's house and you walk in there and there's like socks on the floor, there's like dishes which are left in the sink from 2 days ago, you go in there in the bathroom, there's hair all over the bathroom, there's like stinking washing in the corner of the room, what's your first impression of that person? Gross. Imagine if you went around there on a first date. Like, would you stay around at that house? Michelle's like, no, I'm out of there straight away. You'd leave straight away. And so that's what a healthy working environment is. It's the impression people get when they first walk into a room. So the first one we want to work on is people. Like, do an audit of the atmosphere in the morning. Just spend 2 seconds to look round and see how people are looking. So if I'm walking into a room and I see Dinks is super happy, big smile on his face, ready to go, and I look over at Finn, he doesn't look too happy at all, he's not done his hair, he's looking down at the floor, he looks windswept from the Melbourne wind, who am I going to have a conversation with? Dinks. Because he's like a magnet. He's like a magnet, and I'm going to be attracted to that. So we've got to make sure the people in atmosphere, Louis said it then, as soon as I walk in atmosphere, everybody knows who I am. And everybody's looking at me, oh my God, is that Eddie? Does he run the show? I'm going to go around there with a high five. As I said before, my second day, somebody tried to fist pump me. I thought it was really, really weird. But you come into our office now, it's like high five, low five, fist pump, like a foot slap. Because I want to make the person feel really special for being in there. Because as I said before, atmosphere is not a wall. Atmosphere is a group of people. When we were running up in Brisbane, we moved out of an office and we were moving into another office, and we had a week with no office. So we had a decision, do we just go home and feel sorry for ourselves, or do we make it happen? So we went to Coffee Club for a week. We met up there every single morning, Coffee Club. We had to make sure everybody bought at least a milkshake, just to make sure we were giving back to the Coffee Club Society. And we went to the same Coffee Club of an evening. At first, they were like, what are you guys doing? But at the end of it, they were joining our atmosphere. I was talking to Patrick the other day when we were in Sydney, and he was talking about when the offices got flooded, they were like, what are we going to do? So they went on a rooftop, and they ran atmosphere on a rooftop. How cool is that? Where's your meeting? On the rooftop, mate. That's pretty cool, right? That was pretty exciting. And that's because atmosphere is not the four walls. Atmosphere is the people who are in there, and the energy which is given off by them people. Okay? The next one is the conversations. Always exciting. We always fall victim to it. Hey, Gemma, how was your day? What does that conversation really mean?
How many sales you do?
How many sales do you do, Gemma? Make me feel really good or really bad? Come on, hit me. I'm ready. I'm ready, because I'm going to feel really good or you're going to feel really bad. So we want to make sure we can control the conversations. Like, bad conversations to be having. If you're talking about the weekend and you're talking about being hungover, that does not line up with how everybody else is talking. Has anybody seen me walk into atmosphere on a Monday morning, say, you know what, I'm really hungover. They say, you know what, like when they wouldn't let me into Revs at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was a nightmare. Has anybody heard me say that? Has anybody heard me say that? But do you think that might have happened over the last 2 years or so?
Probably. Yeah.
More than likely. More than likely. Shush, mate. Keep it down, mate. Keep it down. But it's true, right? It's true, because I want to be the change that I want people to see. Okay? And we've got to be controlling these conversations. So talking about the weekend and talking about, oh, my feet are sore. Well done. Well done. Come into the back. I'll give you a little foot massage. But please don't be telling everybody else that your feet are sore. Talking about all your problems. Like coming into atmosphere and just going, ugh, and just like giving it. Has everybody seen the film The Green Mile? Has everybody seen The Green Mile? Big John Coffey. So what John Coffey would do, he'd heal people. He'd heal people and he'd touch them. Sorry, Gemma, you shouldn't have sat here. He'd touch them and he'd take in all the pain. Okay? Then he'd go and sit in a prison cell. And what would John Coffey do then? He'd go like that. Yes, exactly. Go, and literally, if you're not seeing this, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Please watch The Green Mile. You're not seeing it, Aidan? Just nod along, mate. It's a pretty funny story. And then he breathes it all out. And he gives it all out. But are we that person? Are we that person who sits in a leaders meeting every single day and gives our problems? Are we that person who goes into atmosphere and gives our problems? Now, we don't need to be like John Coffey, who gives our problems and verbally gives them out. But if you're sat there with a resting bitch face, that is as bad as John Coffey. If you're sat like that, do you know how inspiring it is to teach that? It's not inspiring at all. Also, yawning. Seb knows never to yawn again. If you yawn in our office, you're doing sprints. You are doing sprints. But then, in terms of like good conversations to be having, what are some good conversations to be having in Atmosphere? Focus for the day. Yeah, what is your focus for the day? What else? What do you want to learn? That's pretty exciting. Wherever, I don't know if anybody's worked anywhere before, but when you're walking on a Monday morning, someone's like, what do you want to learn? Has that ever happened to anybody? And that's pretty exciting. We can't take that for granted. So what do you want to learn? What other exciting stories we can be talking about? What about the guys on the road trip last week who set a new record? So Finn, Aidan, Gemma, and Connor, who went on a road trip this week and set a brand new record. That's pretty exciting. Well done, guys. Well, the fact of Aidan, Aidan has cleaned out my future family. Like this week, he's got crazy amount of bonuses. He was negotiating deals all the way through the week. Every time I was texting him, I was like, I don't want to text this guy. I'm going to lose some money. But now he's going to get rewarded for his own sales this week. He's going to get rewarded for bonuses. He's also going to get rewarded for how well the team do this week, which is pretty exciting. Is that a good story to be telling everybody else? Well, the facts about how Georgia went to Sydney for the week and all the skills that she learned, is that an exciting story to be telling everybody else? It's pretty cool, right? So these are the conversations we want to be having. Just to interject on that one, field stories. I have no time for field stories. I have no time for field stories whatsoever. When I come back from the field and somebody says, hey, how was your day? I'll be like, it's all right. How's your day? Hey, it's all right. And people used to get really, really annoyed. Really, really annoyed. Because they wouldn't know whether I'd just gone and done $1,000 or just gone and done like $200. How's your day? It's all right. And then they go and look at my gauges because they sneak and look at my gauges because they're more interested in my game than their own game. So they go and find the gauges and come back. You know, $1,000. I said, what do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to like go and dance in the street? The day is finished. The day is finished. And we've got to be careful about what positive field stories are. So coming back saying, hey, I met a really nice person. They bought a HelloFresh box or they bought a $100 ticket. That's just as bad as telling a negative field story. I've got no time for it. When I come back from the field is just a vehicle to get me where I need to be. I've got no time to talk about the field. I've got no time to talk about that at all. So straight after the field in an evening, I'm talking about, okay, cool, how can we become better at impacting? Okay, cool. So Ronan mentioned something in his recruitment talk on Saturday. Can you just explain that again? Because I've got no time for the field. The field is just an inconvenience which happens in my life between 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. I'm just going to get good and get it out of the way as soon as I possibly can. And over an evening, I'm going to focus on something that's positive, that's going to push my career forward. The next one is music. Music. Okay, so music is an interesting one. What is good kind of music? What's going to be nice music, like kind of, what's atmosphere music? Disco. Aidan loves a good bit of disco. We went through a stage where literally we played Earth, Wind and Fire for 4 months straight in. We went through that dark period. Okay, so disco is good. What else? What else is some good music? Party mix. Okay, yeah, party mix. Okay, what else? Party songs. What else? Rave music, yeah. Anything else? So kind of upbeat music, okay? So you know I was going to reference it somewhere along the line, but I've started going to F45 gym. You know it's going to come somewhere along the line. So I've started going to F45 gym, and it's funny because they play this music, like Ed Sheeran, but times 100. It was like, whoa, you're dancing along, and halfway through, you're not dancing, obviously, you're working out, building muscle. Halfway through, you're like, is this Celine Dion? Everybody's like, yeah, we're dancing along to Celine Dion remix. And something amazing happens is they have the music playing and they've got the timers going, but every so often the music cuts off. Do you know what happens when the music cuts off? People stop. People literally halfway through a push-up and they stop. And literally they'll stop and then they'll start going again, but the energy is crazy. It's amazing. The energy is so much less when there's no music in the room. Okay? It gets people going. It's exciting. Now, what's some bad music to be playing? Sad songs, slow music, Adele, yeah, hello, start dropping that on a Monday morning. Okay, anything else? Biggie is not good. He's not good. He's not good. Like if you play that DEFCON music, when you listen to it, and you have like a piece of blood coming down your ear, and it's like, and it's like, what is that? It sounds like you're watching a Transformers movie. Michael Bublé. Only for the day before Christmas is Michael Bublé allowed to be played in there. Every other time is not a time for Michael Bublé. So have your phone ready to go with some good music on there. We've got Alexa at the moment. Alexa kind of takes care of it. If everybody likes to listen to Ed Sheeran, Cindy Feels the Pain every morning. But after that, she kicks into it. So music is really, really good. And on the way to the field, like I was hearing about Georgia and Sebastian, these guys, as they said, carried on the weekend on Monday morning. I don't really know what that means. So these guys carried on the weekend on the way to the field on Monday, and the energy was really, really high in the car.
We were drinking in the car.
Okay. Questionable. Okay. And the last one is the working area. So the working area is like when you're walking into, are you going to be walking into a 35-year-old professional person's penthouse suite, or are you going to be walking into a 15-year-old boy's bedroom? Okay? And ask yourself that question every single day. When you walk into Atmosphere, what's it looking like? Don't just walk into Atmosphere and just kind of walk down and just go straight into the leaders meeting, because your guys are going to be walking in, they're going to be seeing what the Atmosphere room is like. So how can we make Atmosphere a cleaner working area? How can we do that? Wipe down the whiteboards.
Make sure like all the documents and stuff are in like the in a nice space. And
Yeah, make sure the collateral is ready to go. So the gauge sheets are ready to go, the pitch cards are ready to go, everything's ready to rock and roll. How else can we do it? Make sure it's clean. It's really, really easy to walk through and just pick a piece of paper up off the floor. Or on Thursday night, pick a few bottles of beer off the floor. Like just walking through, making sure the area is a nice, clean working area. I don't know about you guys, but if I walked into somewhere and I put my hand down on the table and I lifted it up and it was all sticky, I probably wouldn't be too excited about working in that area. But it's serious. And you would, sometimes when I walk into Atmosphere, you would lose me on your crew. You guys know I'm very, very particular. If something doesn't go right, I get a vein that kind of pops out my head. But you would lose me on your crew. So you've got to be walking in there every single day saying, okay, cool. Would I be able to recruit the sharpest person? Would I be able to retain the sharpest person walking into this room? Because that is your office space. So if we can't look after an office space now, when you are looking after your own office space, it's going to be direct reflection from there. So make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, the next one is having a plan for you and your team. Okay, so I'm going to have a plan for you and your team. So the first one is the structure. Does everybody know the basic skeleton, the basic structure of Atmosphere? Okay? Does everybody know the basic structure? Okay. So, do you know why we have that structure? Do you know why we do crew meetings, clinics, high rollers impact, pitch practice, morning meeting? Do you know why we do that? Because it's important that Keelan says you know the why. Do you know why we do that? No? Okay. Anybody else? Anybody know why we do that? People know what they need to do? Yeah? Because it works. Because it works. Because it works. And this is something I've been educating Keelan on an awful lot this week. So I'll be like, hey, Keelan, if this is your office, how are you going to run it? And me and Keelan have been talking about, okay, based on the gauges from yesterday, this is what we need to work on for the group. So I want the message being read during the leaders meeting, during the crew meeting, going into the clinics, going into the impact, and going into the pitch practice and going into morning meeting from there. So it's a fluid message which is going all the way through. So be on top of the structure. And if you don't really understand the structure, you don't really understand the why behind crew meetings and pitch practice, like ask the question. Just ask the question, we'll be happy to help you out. The next one is operations. Good leaders have all operational tasks completed before the start of Atmosphere. So I'll say that again. So good leaders have all the operational tasks completed before the start of Atmosphere. So good leaders have all the operational tasks completed before the start of Atmosphere. It's like a football player going to the World Cup final, getting to the stadium, he's left his boots at home. It's like Gerard Butler leading the 300 Spartans, going to war and saying, hey Tush, did you bring my spear? Keelan, did you bring my shield? But it's really funny, right? And it's a really funny example, but we've got to make sure that all operational tasks are completed. So this is making sure, if I'm with Tush for today, I've got Tush's folder, I've got Tush's pitch card, I've got Tush's gauge sheets, I've got all his receipts for HelloFresh, I make sure he's got a lanyard, and he's ready to rock and roll. I've got my COD book ready to go, I've got a board marker in my hand ready to rock and roll, because as soon as I'm in there, I'm going to war. Because I only have 20% of the day. I have 10% in the morning, 10% in the afternoon. I only have 20% of the day, and it's only an hour in the morning, so I've got to make sure I make the most of the time. Because if I make the most of the time, my time with Tush in the field is going to be so much easier. going to be so much easier. The third one is leading the way. I got really, really good at atmosphere because when I was being trained by Ronan, I realized it was his time to shine. And for an hour, people looked at him and respected him. And I wanted that for me. I wanted that to happen for me. So I learned very, very fast how to run atmosphere. So he literally, like on my push to assistant management, he was hardly ever in atmosphere. He was hardly ever in atmosphere because I wanted him having like performance conversations with my team to raise them from doing $700 a day to $900 a day, or doing 4 HelloFresh sales to 7 HelloFresh sales. So if I wanted him to do that and I really wanted to use him, I needed to find a way to free up his time. And I knew that he was doing an hour every single morning, and that wasn't a very good use of his time because I wanted to learn that task because I was going to be running my own office. So what I did is I got good, if not better than him, at running atmosphere. And I was a leader of atmosphere. So people would come in and they'd be like, hey, does Eddie run this deal? I was like, yeah, Ronan's my PA. That was pretty exciting, right? He would. It's true. So, and also with my crew meeting, I'd have a crew meeting every single morning. My first crew meeting, there was nobody in it. It was pretty awkward. My second crew meeting, there was one person in it. And eventually I started to build a crew meeting. And then what would happen is I'd have 4 people in a crew meeting, but because I was so excited and so ready to go, everybody else started coming from different crews and joining my crew meeting. And that was really cool, because at first, like, yeah, Louis, you can join me. Yeah, Sebastian, you can join me. Yeah, Finn, you can join me. But when the crew got too big, Sebastian would come over and say, hey, can I join your crew? My leader hasn't turned up. I'm like, ooh, put your name on the wait list. I'll let you know next week. I'll let you know next week, because I run that area, and I'm going to lead the way. If it's Fun Friday, that's my game. If it's a pitch practice game, that's my game. If it's a High Rolls Impact, that's my impact. If there's a number 1 crew meeting, that's my crew meeting. If there's a crew breakfast, I'm going to run the best crew breakfast out of everybody else. Because if I lead the way for long enough, it won't be long before I actually lead the way and it's my deal. And I can take over it. And the final point on this one about having a plan for you and your team is this is a very good point from David. David spoke about this, I think it was 3 weeks ago, and it was a simple line that he said on a networking call. And he was saying, every single day when you're walking into the office, how am I going to drive my deal forward today? So how am I going to drive my deal forward today? My deal, my crew, my office. Now, I don't really mind if your crew at the moment is you. And if anything, that's pretty easy. Because you can tell yourself what to do and you just do it. That's probably the easiest crew to ever have in your life. Okay? So every single day when I'm walking in there, it's like, how am I going to drive my deal forward today? This is what my deal did yesterday. This is what my crew did yesterday. How am I going to make it better today? Now, if you get really used to that, just doing that when it's just yourself, when you're looking after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. So every single day, how am I going to drive my deal forward? And maybe the first time you ask the question, you get nothing in return. But if I ask a customer to buy a product and they say no, what might I do before I leave? I might ask them again. Okay, 2 times no and we go. So when I ask myself that question when I walk into the office, what do I need to do to drive my deal forward? You might not get the answer straight away. But I'm going to ask again. Then I'm going to ask again. Then I'm going to ask again. My mind will get sick of me asking, and it'll just tell me the answer. And that's how I know I'm going to drive it forward for that day. Okay? And the next one is making the workshop fun. Okay? So making the workshop fun. It's very straightforward. Have fun, make money. I used to see Ronan in Atmosphere, and I thought, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? He'd be dancing around the place. He's like doing handstands. He's like doing paper, scissors, stone. I'm like, we can't do paper, scissors, stone. I want to get to assistant management. And he used to sit me down. He's like, you know what, Ed, you need to have more fun. I'm like, I am having fun. He says, it's a funny thing I was always taught, less stress, more success. I'm like, I'm not stressed, mate. I'm ready to go. And he's like, you're not having fun. And it's the key essence. Have fun, make money. In Atmosphere, you want to lead it to be the funniest atmosphere of all time. Every single day. How do I make this the best atmosphere ever? Where in 50 years' time, Finn is going to be talking to his grandchildren. He's going to be like, let me tell you about that day on May the 12th, 2018. You probably heard about it in the news. It was the best atmosphere ever. That's what I want to happen. Because I want Finn to be walking out and be like, yeah, ready to rock and roll. Like, it's amazing. A game of paper, scissors, stone. We had a PB day 4 weeks ago. Do you know what we did during Atmosphere to have a PB day, like a personal best day as an office? We did an egg and spoon race. So it's amazing. You can sign up for a Tony Robbins course. It'll cost you $15,000. You can sign up for a Curran Ray course. It'll cost you $4,000. The straight line theory costs around about $5,000. But what we can do on a day-to-day basis to edge the results is an egg and spoon race. That's pretty exciting, right? Egg and spoon race. So then we thought, hey, that was a PB. Why don't we try and beat that PB? So a week later, we did another game. Do you know what we did for the game? We put a line on the floor and we all jumped over the line. Then we moved the line further forward and we all jumped over to see how far we could jump. We basically did a long jump. And we did a long jump and we had a PB day. Is that not pretty exciting? That's pretty exciting, right? We had a PB day this week. Do you know why we had a PB day this week? Because all the leaders joined the leaders meeting. We knew it was going to rain. We all looked up at the sky and we're like, we're better than you. We're better than you. We're going to fight off the rain. It's have fun, make money. It's really straightforward. And so every single day when I'm walking in there, how am I going to make sure that atmosphere is really fun and exciting? Which way can I explain my impact? So instead of saying, hey guys, I'm going to talk about C factors, I'm going to relate it to something that people relate to themselves. So I'm going to find different ways to explain my impacts. During pitch practice, who make my pitch practice nice and fun and exciting. During the morning meeting, before the morning meeting starts, I'm like, hey Tush, I know you're doing the meeting now, but can me and Gemma leave early? So it's like, why is that? So we just need to get on the field straight away. See everybody else in that room? Like they think they're going to high rolls today? Can me and Gemma lead the field? And they're going to be like, yeah, like, cool, Gemma. We got a pass. We're getting to the field straight away. And when everybody's walking out of the morning meeting, I'm going to post up a selfie. See you later, suckers. Already on the field. And that's how I'm making it new and exciting for Gemma. Gemma's not just going into the same meeting every single day. It's like, okay, we're going to hit the field. Really? Okay, cool, let's go. I'm making it fun and exciting for my guys. Every day is going to be the best atmosphere ever. Every day I'm going to write the blueprint of how to run an atmosphere clinic. Every single day you're going to be like, I remember that day when Eddie taught us about atmosphere. That was an amateur performance. This is how you deliver atmosphere. This is a blueprint of how you deliver atmosphere. And do you think if you're walking in with that level of excitement and energy intensity, do you think atmosphere is going to be a bit better? It is, right? You're going to force the issue. And then the final point, guys, is making the workshop educational. So making the workshop educational. My girlfriend is a doctor, so she gave me this medical fact. So the top line is actually a medical fact. An impact every day gets you on the way. No? Okay. So I thought that was cool. So an impact every day gets you on the way. Okay? So if you're writing and delivering an impact every single day, that's going to get you on track. You're going to practice your public speaking skills every single day. You're going to have a chance to explain the subjects working for yourself every single day. You're going to be able to speak to 6 people in your team every single day and deliver the message that you want to run. And then during Atmosphere, as soon as I found out that the high roller was the person who delivered the impact, I was like, okay, so it's not down to chance. I used to think that Ronan used to put everybody's name in the hat and then pick out a name and go, okay, you got the high rollers. I used to think that Ronan used to sometimes look at somebody else because they weren't feeling too happy that day. He's like, okay, Lou, you take the atmosphere, you take the impact just to make them feel good. Until I found out he goes to the high rollers. Now, the exciting thing about that, who controls the high rollers? I do. Not we, I do. I control the high rollers. When I'm in the field, I control who high rolls a day. I make that decision. When I walk into the field, in my mind, I am already on the bell. I'm already on the bell. I'm already on 5 sales. I'm already on $600. So all I've got to do now, because I'm already on the bell in my own head, is just go and high roll everybody else. Because I want to be the one running the impact. I don't want to leave it to chance that Keelan's going to run the impact and he's going to talk about something whack. And he's going to be talking to my guys. I ain't doing that. So I'm going to run it. I'm going to take charge of that. For making the workshop educational. When I'm setting up somebody's day, I'm not going to say, hey, Seb, I'm going to teach you this day, this is what we're going to work on. Instead, I'm going to say, hey, Seb, what do you want to learn today, mate? And Seb's go, oh, really? Okay. I want to speak to 100 people, and then I want to learn icebreakers. Like, okay, Seb, I see that. I'm going to raise you 100 people. I'm going to raise it to 110, but we're going to do that together. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. And icebreakers, you want to work on icebreakers? You are the king, the Don. You might have heard Keelan saying he's really good at icebreakers, but mate, you've not seen anything yet. And also we're going to teach you to close as well. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So let's grab a whiteboard and we're going to start that teaching straight away. So straight away, Seb knows that I'm listening to what he wants to do. I'm telling him that his goals, we're going to do it together, and we've got the action ready to go. Rather than him just being in the clinic talking about greed and not having any idea how this relates to his day from there. So I'm going to know people's goals and commit to it. I'm going to commit to it. I was talking to Marley the other day. Marley took Kiara out and she rang the bell. Kiara rang the bell for the first time. Marley did something really, really cool. Like this is Mahalia, was it? Mahalia. So this is something really, really cool. It's really scientific. It's changed the face of the game. I was blown away when Marley actually educated us all the day after. And I was like, what did you do to get Mahalia on the bell? She's like, I just told Mahalia in the morning that she's going to ring the bell. So, yeah. The night before. Even better. So she can sleep on it. So she can sleep on it and be ready to rock and roll. I heard Mahalia didn't even sleep that night. She was, oh my God. She was already on the field, ready to go, just waiting at somebody's door. Are you open yet? Are you open yet? Are you open yet? She told her what was going to happen. And Marley committed to it. And Mahalia committed to it. And what happened? She rang the bell. That's me in Atmosphere. I'm going to commit to teach somebody something, so at the end of Atmosphere, they're ready to go. The next one is pitch practice. Pitch practice is always funny. Hey Gemma, how are you?
Good.
Cool, fantastic. My name is Edward from the Cerebral Palsy Alliance. We're doing some amazing work in the area. We're giving away a Toyota Corolla. You want to buy? You want to buy one? Yeah, okay. Tickets are 150.30. Gemma, yeah, I'll go for the 100. That's the end of pitch practice. Said no customer ever. Said no customer ever. Okay. You guys do some amazing things in Atmosphere. You just all of a sudden got an obsession with where we put the coats and the bags. You just like, it's like a magnet. As soon as pitch practice starts, it's like, boom. And then so you're just like that. Just 1 second, mate. Everybody's bladder gives way at like 8:30 in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever time HelloFresh starts. Oh, I need the toilet. Sorry, you got to go. Anyway, you just go with Keelan because Keelan's more committed to you than what I am at the moment. Like, pitch practice is the most vital time ever. The most vital time ever. Like, you've got 15 minutes to really drill down in the pitch. Really drill down in the pitch. If anybody's ever pitched with me, and you've done pitch practice with me, I would never have said yes to you. If I'm the customer, I would never have bought a HelloFresh box. I would never have, even with Cindy, who overturned me like 100 times one day, and I was like, Cindy, slow down, I've gone. So, I never said yes to buying a HelloFresh box. I never said yes to buying a ticket. Do you know why I never say yes as a customer during pitch practice? Because most customers don't say yes. So I'm going to create a real life scenario. And I'm never, ever, 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 however good you are, Marley's like, oh, I see that challenge. I'll see you on Monday morning. So I will never, ever say yes during a pitch practice. Never. I'll practice overturns. And when the person's doing really well and they're all the way to the close, I'll cut it off and say, you know what, that was really good. Should we work back on the short story again? I'm always going to cut it off. Sometimes what happens, hey, do you want to buy a product? The person says, yeah, oh, sure. Do you want to practice on me? Yeah, I'll buy a product. But hey, we've done pitch practice. You've not. You've just spoke to the person. I'm going to work on body language. So when you're talking to someone, you're pitching with somebody, if I'm pitching with Tush in pitch practice and I'm like that, what impression does that give to Tush? I don't care. I'm not interested. I'm going to be completely locked on. And if Tush is pitching me and he starts looking over, I'm going to say, yeah, you know what, mate, I'm not interested. And the person comes, no, you don't do that. Come on, you've got to play along. No, you didn't do the right kind of body language. If somebody starts itching the head or itching the shoulder, like, hey, you're a bit nervous. If you did that in front of a customer, they'll probably say no. If someone starts crossing the body language, hey, you're a bit nervous. I'm going to create it as true as possible. I'm going to watch somebody's tone of voice. I'm going to pick up on the tone of voice. Because this is where you get the telltale signs and the little secrets. And if you can correct them then, as I said before, Atmosphere is about all saving time on the field. If you can correct them there and then, you're ready to go. And I'm going to do 2 times no and we go. 2 times no and we go. And I'm going to chuck in curveballs, real life curveballs. If the person's pitching me and they don't have their ID badge on, I'll be like, are you trying to lose a campaign? I'm going to make it really real. If they don't have the tablet in their hand, it's like, whoa, you must be skilled. You can't sign somebody up without a tablet. How'd you manage to do that? That's pretty exciting. Okay? When somebody pulls out the tablet, goes, oh, just imagine it's on. I'm like, do you say that to the customer? Just imagine it's on? Just imagine it's on. Practice them moments. You know when you get the tablet and you forget the login code, oh my God, 1 second, I want to be practicing them moments. I want it to be as real as ever. And then the final point, guys, about a really effective atmosphere is at the end of the day, I'm going to rehash it at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, when I'm doing the breakdown, and with Gemma, I'm like, okay, cool. What did you learn in atmosphere this morning? And the first time I asked Gemma this question, what is Gemma more than likely going to say? Yeah, it was great. Okay, what did you learn? Because I'm really stubborn, I'll just ask the question again. What did you learn? Yeah, okay, cool, that's good. But what else did you learn? And the person's going to go, and I go, okay, cool, no worries. But what's really good at the end of the day is to break down atmosphere and what you learn in atmosphere. So if we think about the atmosphere, so you remember during the impact, Gemma, we had Sasha, she was talking about how to close at the height of impulse. You remember during the pitch practice, we work on this in pitch practice. Remember during the morning meeting, Kim was talking about the turtle race. So they were the 3 things. What was the main thing that you took from today? And over the next few days, I'm going to educate Gemma to make sure at the end of the day, she rehashes over atmosphere and what she took from it. Okay? And then the start of the following day, I'm going to go over it all over again. I'm like, hey, so Sebastian, remember what we went through yesterday morning in atmosphere?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Okay, I'm sure you probably lost your mind overnight, so let's just go and run through. We talked about taking it to 110 people. You wanted to work on the icebreakers, and you also wanted to work on the close as well at the same time. So what we're going to do now, we're going to now accelerate that learning, and now we're going to go into 120 people, and now closing at the height of impulse. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, you look really excited. Let's grab a whiteboard. Let's be ready to go. So I'm going to get him into the habit of going home in that night and actually rereading his notes. Rereading his notes and taking all the information in. And Patrick's got some really cool statistics on this in terms of the memory and what you do actually absorb. And it's a really effective tool. At the end of the day, rehash the notes and see what worked well and see what the person learned and see what you need to work on for the following day. Okay, guys, that's atmosphere. That was atmosphere 101. I hope we all got a bit of information from there. So next up we have Patrick.